So with it, y'all. I hope y'all having a good day, a good morning. Happy 4th of July, etc. Hey, I'm not gonna hate on my country. America has done some things, but it's my home. I don't know any other place. So today, I want to talk about our conscience. One of the most valuable things that we can have is a good conscience. A good conscience comes from the Lord. A good conscience comes from doing what we know is right. A good conscience comes from not compromising our integrity, not not any not transgressing His laws. Small transgressions leads to a guilty conscience. Doing things that we're not supposed to do leads to a guilty conscience, which ultimately leads us away from Christ, which ultimately sears our conscience. And what I mean by sears, imagine you're grilling a steak. The more you grill it, the less sensitive that steak becomes. So the next time that you do something that you're not supposed to be doing, you don't feel as bad for doing it. You don't feel the sting of it. You don't feel you're less sensitive to it. And the more that we compromise, the more that we sear our conscience. And this is harmful because it leads to sin. It ultimately leads to sin because the more we sear our conscience, the more compromise we have, and compromise leads to sin. It is inevitable that we will sin, that we will fall short, but we must not listen to the devil and his constant nagging in our ear that makes us feel like we can't recover, that makes us feel like we're going to hell because of our sin, like Jesus didn't die on the cross for us. We can't listen to the devil and his tricks and his games. We must not let any falling short, any compromise, we must not let it get to the point of compromise. We must have the fear of the Lord. And that is the most powerful thing we can have, is the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord will keep us away from searing our conscience, will keep us away from doing what we know not to be right. Have you ever seen somebody and they just look like they're guilty? It's because they have a seared conscience. It's because they have been transgressing their integrity. They have been transgressing God's laws. They have been doing things that they know they're not supposed to be doing. So as a result, they look guilty. They ain't doing nothing wrong. They chilling right now, but they look guilty because they know in their heart that if they were to die right now, they will have to face the Lord, and they are scared of his judgment. That is one of the worst places you could be, to be scared to die at this moment, because if you die, you're going to face his wrath, because you know you have been living unrighteously. You know you have been doing what he said don't do. And this is what we must get out of. There's good news. The good news is that we can stop ourselves before we get started. Usually, big sin comes with small compromises every day. On Monday, you do this. On Tuesday, since I did that on Monday, I guess I'll do this. On Wednesday, it gets a little worse. On Thursday, big sin. Because you seared your conscience so much that now what you're doing on Thursday is not even a big deal. It's like I've been leading up to this, so this was the natural conclusion. We can stop ourselves in our tracks and say, no, I see where this is going. I see the natural conclusion. And the best way we can stop this is to read the word, to get the fear of the Lord, to get that intimacy with the Lord, because we can't do it with our willpower a lot of the times. It takes him. It takes the fear of him. And this comes by reading his word. This comes by faith of the word, knowing that hell is real, knowing that God is real, you know, because as Christians, we know that. We say that God is real, we know that, but a lot of us live like that's not true. A lot of us have certain doubts. A lot of us are, skeptical about certain things. Well, he's not in my face. He's not as physical as this car. He's not right here. So, I'm gonna do what I do and hope he didn't see it. A lot of us think like that. But it's important not to. It's important to make God as real as anything physical. And that comes by faith, and faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. You must rely on the word of God. Hey, this has been my message for y'all. I hope y'all have a good 4th of July. I hope y'all are safe. And thank y'all, man. Thank you for listening.
The second thing that the blood does, because see, you can get forgiveness from sin, and God has peace toward you, and you have peace with God, but you don't have peace within you. In fact, most of us never struggled with guilt until we got saved. Because when we were lost, our conscience was so dead that what we did, we didn't feel bad about it. And now you got saved, your conscience becomes awakened and it's so sensitive. You do something bad and it judges you. You do something bad and it condemns you. And God has forgiven you. It's the fact that your own conscience now woke up. When it was asleep, you're like, you know what, at least I could enjoy my sin.